Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Fleming. Welcome to my Wednesday news show. Let's jump right into some of the news stuff that I thought was interesting from the last couple of days. Saturday evening, Jenna Jameson was taken to jail in Newport Beach, California for assaulting someone at a private residence. This person may or may not have been a former assistant. The exact reason why Jenna Jameson was beating down on some random defenseless woman isn't exactly known, but surprisingly this isn't the first time that Jenna Jameson has been to jail. Recently, she actually got a DUI charge in Newport Beach as well. Personally, if I was a multi-millionaire, I'd probably hang out in my cush mansion and not start fights with people, but to each their own. April 8th, Fleming, the Ukrainian protest group, staged a protest against Vladimir Putin. For those of you who aren't familiar with Fleming is an all-female protest group that was started in the Ukraine in 2008. The women who protest for Fleming generally protest topless. Putin was visiting Germany when the protesters approached him and ran through his security line with "fuck dictator" written on the front of their chests. Ultimately, only one of the protesters got anywhere near Putin, but this picture has gained a lot of traction on the internet, and you'll see why. Clearly, Putin is more amused than insulted by the protest, and that's one of the reasons why this image is so entertaining to look at. One of the reasons I really like this protest group is because they use controversy to drive their message. It may seem kind of counterintuitive for women to be baring their breasts during a protest, but this controversy has allowed a basically grassroots protest organization to gain supporters all over Europe. I want to talk a little bit about some recent actions of Barack Obama. In light of the sequester, Obama announced that he would be giving back 5% of his salary to support furloughed employees. Obama makes about $400,000 on an annual basis. That equates to about $20,000 that he's giving back to the US government. John Kerry is also jumping on the bandwagon and giving back 5% of the $180,000 that he makes from the United States government. The controversy comes from the fact that this isn't a whole lot of money, coming from two people who have a whole lot of money. That's why I want to explain a little bit about Jose Mujica. Jose Mujica has been the Uruguayan president since 2010, and since that day, he has given 90% of his $12,000 a month salary to charity. That's $140,000. Not even as much as John Kerry makes in a year, but he's donating 90% of that. Because of the significant donation of his salary, Jose Mujica lives in the same house that he lived in before he was elected president and drives the same beat-up VW Bug. A lot of people don't know how to feel about this situation with Obama giving money out of his own pocket back to the government. Personally, I'm surprised that politicians haven't thought of this sooner. I just hope that some of them make the decision to dig a little deeper than 5%. When you're making $400,000 a year with the lavish expense accounts that you have as President of the United States, what would it honestly be to you to give $300,000 of that money back to the United States people? I think Congress should take this as a model, and they should cut their paychecks in half. The only way we're going to solve the budget crisis in the United States of America is by solving it a little bit at a time. One of the other things that's going on in the government right now that I really want to talk about is gun control. On Tuesday, a deranged man at a Texas community college ran around campus stabbing random people. All in all, he ended up stabbing 14 people and sending 2 to the hospital in critical condition. This is a crazy person pulling off a premeditated attack on a group of people on a college campus. If somebody who's mentally unstable wants to injure a bunch of people, he's going to do it with or without guns. I think the federal government needs to take a much harder look at the US mental health care system than they do at whether or not their private citizens own guns. That's just my opinion though. Feel free to call me out. Post in the comments down below and let me know how you feel about this issue. This next section I'm thinking about adding to my show on a weekly basis, and I'm calling it Headline of the Week. This is where I read out a few headlines that I thought were particularly interesting or maybe off the wall and let you, the viewers, decide which ones you like best. This first headline comes from Fox News and reads, "Phoenix fire official sues over sexy pasta prank." This is not as funny of a story as the headline may suggest. Basically, a fireman got demoted after some pranks occurring in the firehouse. This next headline has been all over the internet. Man buys toy poodle and discovers they're actually ferrets on steroids. That one comes to us from Yahoo News and is actually a true story. An Argentinian man went to a flea market and bought what he thought were 2 toy poodles for $150 a piece. As it turns out, they were actually giant ferrets that had been fed steroids since birth and had their hair teased. The picture of the ferret is absolutely ridiculous, but what really blows me away is what was pointed out on Reddit. Surprisingly, there is a Simpsons episode where the mafia actually dresses ferrets up like toy poodles. I wonder if this is where the con artist got the inspiration for dressing ferrets like poodles. A new search engine type website called Shodan has recently been declared the scariest search engine on the planet. Shodan collects information on over 500 million devices connected to the internet every single month and allows users to scan through those results. What's really surprising people is how many systems are unnecessarily connected to the internet and furthermore unprotected. People have found networks connected to traffic lights, water parks, and even a hydroelectric plant that are completely unprotected connected to the internet for no reason. As of right now, ShodanHQ.com has not been linked to any incidents, but this is a clear indicator that there are a lot of people who need to tighten up their network security. Since I did it the last two shows, I'm going to go ahead and touch on some more space news. The University of Washington is currently working on a fusion-driven rocket that is partially funded by NASA's Advanced Concepts program. The reason why this fusion-driven rocket, or FDR, is so significant is because it has the ability to take spacecrafts up to a much higher speed with only a fraction of the fuel than we currently use in our modern rockets. This engine can move a spacecraft so fast that it could get a manned spaceship to Mars in only 1 month. It took the Curiosity rover almost 8 months to get to Mars. This fusion-driven rocket has huge implications for the future of space travel. If you live in the northeastern United States, you're about to have some unexpected visitors that you haven't seen in 17 years. That's right, the cicadas are coming. Scientists say that cicadas will emerge from the ground as soon as the ground temperature hits 64 degrees. Generally, that doesn't happen until May, but it could happen as early as April. So if you're planning on spending any amount of money on detailing your car, you might as well put that off for a few months. This next story I want to talk about is both a happy story and a sad one. The University of Nebraska recently posted this video. This video shows Jack Hoffman, a 7-year-old huge Nebraska fan, getting to run a touchdown on the field during Nebraska's spring game. This is easily one of the happiest moments in Jack's life. Jack has been called one of the team's unofficial mascots and has been a major driving force behind how hard they've managed to play in the last year. Sadly, that's because Jack suffers from pediatric brain cancer. Jack's father, being the badass that he is, reached out to the University of Nebraska and explained Jack's situation. Months later, the results is this video. The video already has 5.5 million views. Link to the full video down below. Alright everybody, that's all the stuff I could come up with to talk about this Wednesday. Please hit the subscribe button up in the corner, comment down below, share the video, let other people know what's going on. I appreciate you guys watching and I will see you guys on Saturday.